Deep Thoughts, Shallow Plots.
My name is Erika, and I really like to watch horror movies.
My name is Katy, and I really like to overanalyze things. What are we overanalyzing today?
Today, we are overanalyzing A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. In order to prepare for this episode, I re-listened to the one we did
Freddy's
on the original
episode?
because our listeners don't know that we lost a significant amount of my notes and our outlines.
Yeah. I know. Normally I just go back to the outlines and be like, oh, yeah, those are the
Oh,
main
yeah,
ideas.
that, but
yeah. I still have my notes.
That's great. So I go back and listen to it again, and we did mention that how, really in the first movie, Freddy Krueger is referred to as Fred Krueger.
Yes.
But then something happens because, again, the subtitle of this film
is Freddy.
Freddy's Revenge.
And they mostly call him Freddy in this one. I was listening. They do say Fred sometimes.
Really? Okay.
It's a little bit of both. It's kind of even.
Wonderful.
We'll have to keep an eye on that.
We will. Wonderful. Okay. So, Katie, did you get any jump scares?
No.
No, not
a one.
Yeah, well, you were also mentioning, because this is one, sometimes we watch the movie together, sometimes we watch it separately.
Yeah.
It depends on if we've seen it before.
Yeah.
But this one we decided to watch separately, and I, got a hold of it, and I watched it, and I asked you, I was like, have you seen it yet? And you said, I started it.
Yes.
And
I watched in pieces sometimes.
That's fine,
If I've seen it before. Normally, if I haven't seen a movie before, I'll watch it all in one go to get the full experience. But if I've seen it before, then...
Yeah. But it was just really funny because, Katie, the credits roll at minute 82.
I know, yeah.
This movie. But you couldn't make it through in one go.
Nope,
couldn't make that happen.
Literally got to the start of the pool party. Not even through the pool party.
Yeah. What's funny is that the pool party is supposed to be the big climactic scene.
I stopped at the climax. I was like, okay, later.
We'll finish this later.
I'm a busy gal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reason why I stopped wasn't because I was not enjoying myself or anything. I literally was just busy. I actually quite like this movie. It's silly.
Really?
It's fun.
It's silly. It's fun. It's very different from the rest of the franchise.
It's honestly kind of shallow.
Yeah.
Popcorn movie sort of stuff.
Yeah. Again, thinking about the original and listening back to our episode, I'm like, damn, this goes kind of deep.
Yeah.
And I think that the sequel is really doing a lot. Is really banking on the emotional work the first movie already did.
Yeah, we already know who Freddy is.
We know the
his
whole thing.
Deal.
Now we have kind of a new cast of characters, but Freddy remains the constant.
Yeah. No, I would not necessarily call it a good film.
No.
But I like it.
It's fun.
It's just sort of a fun little romp.
And actually, it holds a. I'm gonna make a case. I'm gonna wait. Just gonna until it's my turn. But I will be making the case that this is a good movie, or it's fun, and really whether it's objectively good or not, it holds a very special place in my heart.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. There's something about this one, maybe only for the queerdos of the world, but yeah. It has a certain resonance.
Yeah,
that makes it more fun.
It really does.
There's a camp to it.
There's a camp to it, and honestly, if we really want to get into the slasherness of it all, it's interesting because we have a final boy.
Yeah, which is interesting, and I do like that. But I get what you're saying about it sort of relying on the. I'm just thinking about relying on the weight of the previous ones because I feel like some of the biggest lines we get about Freddy and who he is comes from Nancy's diary.
Right.
It's he is evil itself. I know now that I brought him into my world. We all did. Mm-hmm. Gave him all the energy he needed. Mm-hmm. Our screams were all he needed. It's ooh, yeah, Nancy. Say that. And then it just... None of that
so
from the actual main cast.
Nancy is sort of a character.
I love
through her diary.
Nancy's diary. I love that we get the story in this film relating to the first one where it's Nancy's mom locked Nancy in her room and then she went crazy because she saw across the street that her boyfriend was murdered. It's that is kind of how that would all play out in the rumor mill. No?
Yeah, that's a really good realistic understanding of what happened without bringing in the Nightmare King.
Right, yeah, the Nightmare King of it all, yeah. Does not mention 2 of the other teens that died, or Nancy's mom who died, nor does it even try to say who killed Nancy's boyfriend. Just an unspecified murderer.
A crazy person who probably like escaped from a psych ward or something. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. But I do love that scene when they first are reading it, and Jessie picks that passage from the diary where it sounds like it's maybe kind of sexy and like going somewhere, and it turns out she's writing about Freddy like invading her room, and it's like, oh. That wasn't sexy, actually.
Yeah.
Nice try, Jessie. Once again, you are failing at heterosexuality.
Yeah, he's real bad at it.
But then Lisa manages to find a passage where Nancy does talk about Glenn and how hot Glenn is.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that with Nancy and Glenn not being in this film, they still managed to kind of do gender wrong where Nancy is the one objectifying Glenn. I'm like, yes. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Be you forever.
And Glenn is just an object who doesn't get to have any say in this matter right now.
You're so right.
Yep.
Like, but this movie in general is like so obsessed with like the male body.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's weird. So yeah, in terms of good horror shit in this film, that's definitely top of my list, is the way that it sort of cheekily plays with the first one. But also it could have used more stuff from the first one or something. I don't know. It just doesn't really read as a sequel, but you'll get into that.
Yeah. Well, for so many reasons.
Yeah. Do you have any good horror shit that you liked? I have 2 things that I think of as bad horror shit.
You know, honestly, for me, I think probably the most effective kind of like horror aspect is the bookends. The opening and closing scenes of this film are like the same. And of course, they do also like, you know, harken back the end of the first one. But I like that one. I like the idea of, and what else is I think a really nice touch is that they have Robert Englund out of makeup playing the bus driver.
That is clever.
Beautiful touch, right?
And it does feel very dreamlike.
Yes, like it's like they've got Vaseline on the lens.
Yeah.
There's like, it's a whole school bus, but there's like 3 kids on there.
Right. A lot of dream logic stuff. Yeah. Of like, this bus is suddenly going fast and we somehow can't get off. And
yeah.
Also, the ground is just disappearing beneath us. And though I do think this was actually one of my, I don't know, because I kind of felt different ways about the ending of the first film, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we kind of talked about what it even really meant.
Yeah, I was like, so did Nancy die? Like, what?
Yeah.
And like, no, she didn't.
I think, Well,
and
she's in the third
this one definitely does the same thing, but I feel like it was like even less effective, as much as I liked the imagery of it. You know, in both the beginning and the end. Mm-hmm. But this one made me feel even less like, what are you saying though? Is Jessie dead? Are they dead? Mm-hmm. Did they die? Mm-hmm. Did they not defeat, like, or did they, and this is just a bad, like, what are we saying though? Like, what are we saying?
Yeah, I understand.
And I guess they're trying to have that ambiguity of like, what does it mean? But I'm just like, what? No, but really, what does it mean?
No, but give us a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right. Because we can live in ambiguity, but we do need like a couple of things to like latch on to. You know?
Yeah. Because I don't even have really like a theory of what that ending means, you know, that I can really grasp onto. Because even if it's like, okay, the ending means that everything Lisa did was ineffective and Jessie's still possessed, then that means we're just going to do the movie again.
Right, that it just starts over.
Or Jessie's just having a bad dream and it's unrelated to it.
Or is that Jessie's dream? Or like, is it Lisa's dream?
Could be Lisa's dream.
Whatever.
Why is Jessie is Freddy rather gonna go after Lisa's friend now? Because that's who he clawed through.
That's true, yeah. Her
maybe she's possessed now. Like, it has so many different, I'm like, what are we trying to say?
Right.
So, I don't know. The other thing that I thought this movie did not need...
what?
Does Freddy possess the parakeet? What is the parakeet?
What's up with that?
Why is the bird
parakeet? Well, so I mean, I think really in the simplest explanation, it functions as foreshadowing.
Right? Yeah. We love an animal death to foreshadow,
to set the stakes.
Yeah.
So I really think it's that, and I also think because our main character Jessie. Again, this movie is really different from the first one. And honestly really different from just the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, it definitely stands out.
In general.
I think they realized what they did and were like,
yeah,
maybe not.
Let's get Nancy back.
Let's redirect.
Yeah. And let's finish that storyline because this is a slasher franchise. But they kind of seem to be Jesse's dad's parakeets.
Yeah.
And Jesse has an interesting relationship with his parents.
Interesting.
In that he has a relationship with his parents.
Right.
In comparison to some of the other characters in the first movie.
You're right. There could be something there.
And especially his relationship with his dad is interesting to me.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I guess the parakeets are about that, but it was just weird.
Yeah, so...
I think really what it comes down to with this movie, the reason why it doesn't quite hit is that it has a real loose relationship with its own mythology.
Yes.
Like the rules don't really line up.
No, Freddy can do so many things in this movie he could not do before.
Yeah.
Or at least didn't do before.
Right. And then it's like, well, maybe he can do them now because he's actually physically possessing somebody. But then even when he's out in the quote unquote waking world, he's still doing dream shit. So it's like, does the dream or the waking matter? I don't know. Yeah, no. It doesn't have the same like commitment to the bit.
Yeah.
It just kind of does whatever sounds cool at the moment.
And the way that the first one does, like, really does commit to the dream imagery. And there, this one is a little bit more like, wait a second, is this a dream or is this real life?
Yeah.
But not in like a confusing dream-like way.
Yeah,
what are the writers trying to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Because there are like a few small moments like that in the first one.
Yeah.
But they work because it's like unsettling for Nancy too, where like she doesn't know if she's awake or asleep, This one is just like, what are we doing?
Like Freddy is jumping out of Jesse?
And then he just exists and is at this pool party?
Okay.
None of these kids are asleep. What does it mean?
Exactly. Including Jesse. It's not like he fell asleep. Wait, isn't that what happens though? Doesn't he fall asleep in the pool house?
No, he falls asleep because he goes back to Grady's.
That's right. He goes back to his boyfriend's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he feel safe there?
He feels safe there. That was my reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So things happen when like Jesse or really any of our characters are like not asleep.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's like Freddy's whole thing is that he's the Nightmare King. He did not give Nightmare King vibes.
Not at all.
He just kind of gave generic demon possession.
Yeah. So.
And this is hot possession summer.
It is true.
We didn't say that yet, but it's hot possession summer.
Yeah.
That's why we're watching this film, because it's a possession movie, but it probably shouldn't have been.
No, I'm going to make an argument that this was actually the perfect movie to watch for this month.
Okay.
So do we want to start talking about these characters? Do we want to talk about Jesse?
Yeah.
Again, final boy, gender neutral name.
That was one of my first notes.
Yes.
I was like all final girls.
Yeah.
Has that classic gender neutral name.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it when I was first watching it. I wasn't making connections, but as I was, kind of like continuing to think about it and reading some stuff online, I started to notice more similarities between Jesse and Ash from Evil Dead.
Ooh.
Again, gender neutral name.
Yes.
He's a final boy.
Yes.
And the way, like, we've talked extensively about final girls, and just like the way that the final boy functions a little different to the final girl, and like the way that the final boy does, like, is also still like kind of feminized a little bit.
Absolutely.
It's giving that. So he was kind of reminding me of Ash from the Evil Dead, but I don't think Jesse really like steps into his power.
Well, no, I think that is interesting because there's something that Jesse does that final girls do, or at least women in slasher movies do, not necessarily only the final girls, but that pretty much only Jesse does in this movie, not any of the girls, which is that his body gets kind of sexualized.
Yeah.
Like they really, the camera loves to focus on this boy's ass. Mm-hmm. And then he has like his weird little underwear dance scene in his room when he's like packing up and like, when he's like shirtless and he's dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird choice.
Yeah, it's kind of like, weird sort of like, objectification.
Yeah.
We're like looking at his body and like that's what's like that's what we're supposed to be looking at.
Yeah,
There's
it's
really
specifically about his body.
Yeah. And he doesn't need to be in his underwear.
Yeah. Or like, I mean, it's a pool party because it's sexy co-ed, so it needs to be a pool party.
Absolutely.
But then like he leaves the pool party and is just at his boyfriend Grady's house.
Yep.
Just like with his unbuttoned shirt, just lounging back. I'm like, okay, we're ogling a little.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. No, and I was also thinking, because yes, we love to think about the final girl and like everything Carol J. Clover had to say about it. And there's that thing I was specifically thinking about how like, because she always thinks of the horror audience when she's writing. She tends to think of the horror audience as like young boys, like young men.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Like that's the audience that it's intended for.
Yeah.
And that because of that, there's the thing she talks about how like the audience, like their viewpoint shifts from the psycho killer, where we have those like point of view shots from the psycho killer till the end, where it switches to the final girl so that she can be triumphant and tends to get like masculinized in those moments. Yeah. And like
she's
having
very strong.
Jesse instead doing that. And kind of never getting that masculinized part.
No,
because I guess they
there.
thought maybe he didn't need it, but like you're talking about, he doesn't come into his own like Ash does.
Yeah.
But also, he is the psycho killer because he's possessed by it. And he's the victim of the psycho killer.
Yeah.
So like every perspective is both killer and victim, which just is like, it's just like this really fluid relationship. And this like breaking down of borders between
and I gotta
everything.
say, like that's pretty cool.
That's fucking cool.
It's again like unfortunate that this is from an existing IP.
Yeah.
In which we've already established what Freddy does and how and why.
Because and also it's unfortunate that I'm not sure how aware like the writer and the directors and people involved in this like knew what they were doing when they did this.
I mean, I think we know the answer to that question. Yeah. And I think the answer is they had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah. They just sort of accidentally, because there's like ways you could have pushed this and like really driven that home and like blurred the lines between victim and killer and like masculine and feminine and all of that stuff. And it's like, it's there, but it feels so unintentional that it's like not quite, I don't know, realized.
It's not entirely satisfying.
Yeah.
Because it's not entirely meta. They don't know their, I really do not think that what I am getting out of this movie and why it holds a special place in my heart, I really don't think that anybody involved in making this movie
fully understood.
Fully saw it from the perspective I now see it from.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
It's a piece of art.
You can interpret it in different ways.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, he does, like, we see Jesse, he, like, sees himself, and of course he's very distressed about it, but, like, he sees himself becoming this killer and, like, committing acts of violence, which is different from, like, the final girl whose job is usually to, like, get away from the man committing violence.
Yeah, and if she does commit violence, it's to protect herself or, you know, her friends or whoever. Like, it's righteous violence.
Yes, it's justified for sure.
Yeah, and that's where she gets sort of masculinized in these stories, where she gets a phallic weapon and whatever.
Or something,
Clover talks about.
But she, again, what makes Jesse really different from, like, most slasher final girls is that he has parents.
Yeah.
So in that opening scene, after he has that nightmare and he wakes up screaming, both of his parents come into his room.
Right. It's wild. Can you imagine?
To check on him and make sure he is okay.
Yeah.
And then not only that scene, that like continues throughout the rest of the film. We see his parents actively discuss, what are we going to do for Jesse?
Yeah, we see the mom being like, we've got to think about therapy. Yeah. And like the dad's like, oh no, we don't need to do it that way, you know.
Yeah,
so like she should divorce him.
Yeah.
But you know, like they are clearly discussing it.
Yeah.
Disgusting, is that what I said?
Yeah, you did. It's okay.
Discussing.
They're discussing it, yeah.
And they're like trying to figure it out in their 80s suburban parent way.
Absolutely.
And they're not ignoring it.
No, they're not ignoring it. And they're still not doing the right things.
No.
But again, given what their understanding of the reality of the situation is, I actually think that these are like the parents of the year.
Yeah, of slasher films.
Compared to Nancy's mom.
Yeah. Yes. And her fucking dad.
And her dad, oh my God, who's supposed to be
like the
a
good
law
dad.
enforcement officer.
He's supposed to be the good parent, kind of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
He's not. So that's very nice. I love that for him. He has two parents. And I also love that they are genuinely concerned about him.
Yeah.
You know?
They do think he's on drugs.
They think he's on drugs. And which, honestly, like a dad in 1985, I would maybe think my kid was on drugs.
The cops come home with your son who's been walking around on the streets, like, undressed.
Yeah, no, he's like, he lost his shoes somehow. Yeah. He, like, doesn't have a shirt on.
Yeah, I'd be like...
Drugs. That's honestly, that's best case scenario.
Right, because the other scenario is that he got like jumped or
assaulted.
Something. Yeah, something really bad. Yeah.
And you are right. He's just like, are you on drugs? You know, and Jesse's like, Dad, I'm not on drugs.
Battling a gay demon.
Well, yeah. But later when he says that, he's right. He's not on any drugs. But then later he begins to take stimulant pills so he can stay awake.
Yes,
it's part of
Nancy does it too.
Nancy does it too. It's part of the, that's how you know you're in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, is you're on stimulant pills to stay awake.
Yeah.
So when he starts to take those stimulants, he is 100% doing drugs.
Yeah. That's true. So I didn't think about it that way.
I just kind of wish that his dad had asked again. Be like, you said you weren't on drugs last time.
What are these?
What about now?
Yeah.
But overwhelmingly, again, for a slasher, these parents are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually like his mom. She seems pretty sweet.
And you know who else?
And she actually stands up against his dad a little bit, which you don't see a lot in a 80s suburban mom. You know?
Well, yeah, and it's I think worth noting, I don't think we have yet, is that this movie came out literally the next year after the original, but it takes place 5 years later.
Mm-hmm. Long enough that none of the same kids are in high school.
Yeah, everybody's graduated from high school. The families, the Thompson families moved away. I don't remember what Glenn's last name was, but I'm sure his family has moved away.
Oh, God, you would have to.
Yeah. So
I'm not sure if you could sell that house.
5 years is a good chunk of time for like a new cycle, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that Nancy's house took a while to sell.
Yeah, totally. And this the other thing is that I know that we're not on Lisa yet, but Lisa also has 2 parents.
Yes. Who are also very sweet. And they give her freedom that is a normal amount of freedom to give a high schooler, but still when they like realize something weird is going on, they're like, we better go check on her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, they are very reasonable parents.
And so just like a little, little like drop of foreshadowing is like, that is something that pushes this movie more towards a possession movie than a slasher film.
Yeah, because slasher films don't have adults.
They don't have adults. And if they do, those adults are fucking useless.
Yeah.
But this movie actually does have adults that are at least trying.
That reminds me, actually, the one moment when I really noticed an adult was when Jesse, before Freddy fully comes out of Jesse's body,
right?
But he's just sort of writhing in pain in Grady's bedroom. And I just had this moment of like, this should not be idiot teenage Grady's job.
No.
Like, this is a get an adult situation.
Yeah.
And right when I thought that, pretty much, Grady's dad starts banging, like he starts calling for his dad, and his dad comes running and tries to get in to save him. Yeah. And I'm just like, yes!
That's what a teenager would do.
This is what it should be. Yeah. Realistic teenager parent, like, relationships, kind of.
Exactly.
And parents just existing.
Yeah. And hearing their child screaming.
And being like, oh, I should respond.
I should maybe go double check in on that. And then you don't like kind of subtly victim blame them for having like rips in their nightgown.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just go off with your boyfriend so that your daughter is left alone with her boyfriend.
Alone with her nightmare, yeah. Do you want to talk about Freddy now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of actually the house, like Nancy's house, and how it's taken a while to sell.
Mm-hmm.
One of my main questions for this movie was, it's called Freddy's Revenge.
Sure is.
What is he getting revenge for?
I think because he got got by Nancy.
He got by Nancy.
Yeah, and so he's back.
But like he still kind of won, even though he got by Nancy. He killed like all of her friends.
Right. So
the ending is ambiguous enough that she clearly went a little crazy.
Yeah. And then again, when the third one is released, then now we get even more of that backstory.
Yeah.
Right? That's something that happened to Nancy.
And it's like he already got revenge for getting burned alive, like in his real life, because he killed at least Nancy's mom.
I mean, yeah, he killed a bunch of people.
Yeah. Like I feel like he kind of got his revenge, and now he's just like, here's some random boy in this house.
Right. Well, I think the idea is it's kind of getting into like a possession. It's almost like a ghost story.
That's what I was wondering, if it's like a haunted house.
Haunted house, yeah.
Did like Nancy's quote unquote victory over Freddy, was it really just that she somehow accidentally sort of anchored him to her house and he was stuck there and he couldn't do what he could do before?
Right. Because, well, you mentioned that because
I'm trying to make logic of this film.
Exactly. But I think there might even be some logic there, actually, because it's Lisa. For some reason, Tina and Lisa are the same name to me.
Well, it's the IA.
IA.
Yeah. Tina and Lisa. Yeah.
Lisa. Anyway, her name's not Tina. It's Lisa. Lisa, because Tina is in the first one.
Yes.
She's the first one who dies. Lisa, she's the one who finds...
Oh, yeah, the diary.
The diary.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's in Jesse's room, and Jesse's... Oh, so
been
like
in his room for a little while.
They have moved in and they've been moved in, because this is another very like teenager parent conversation of like, you need to unpack your room. You need to clean your room. You can't leave
until you've taken care of
Can't go hang out with your little girlfriend or your boyfriend.
Yes.
Until you've cleaned your room. And then doesn't he like throw a little fit about it?
Yeah.
He throws a little fit and he like throws shit around.
And then he has a little half-naked dance party.
Yeah. I think that's being a teenager.
Honestly, yeah. It was a very teenager move.
Very adolescent of him.
But yeah, somehow he's been in this room for a little while and doesn't notice.
But hasn't noticed that. And yeah. But it is interesting, especially when we get to read Nancy's diary, because like one of my theories as to justify why Freddy acts so different.
Weird, yeah.
Just different.
Yeah.
Right? Is that basically, and this isn't an original thought, that Freddy is really what he is. Yes, a nightmare king, but really what he is a tulpa. Mm-hmm. And so
I'm vaguely familiar.
Right. So please kindly allow me to tell you what a tulpa is. So
I know it's one of those things. It like doesn't exist until you make it real. Or
exactly.
Something.
So it's actually rooted in like Tibetan Buddhism, which then made me think about, remember in the original one, Glenn gets into Balinese dream something.
Yeah.
So we're like, again, getting in
to that same kind of area of the world.
The sort of Southeast Asian sort of mysticism kind of. But it's
very hot in the 80s.
At its most basic way to understand what a tulpa is, it's basically a materialized being or thought form that like usually takes human shape. Doesn't have to, but it's just like basically created through like a specific spiritual practice or just intense concentration. So my theory is that Fred Krueger's a real guy, right? You know, like we went through this in the first one.
Right,
He's a real guy.
He was a dude. He was kind of a bad guy, you know? He really was.
He was a bad guy. He hurt kids.
He got murdered horribly.
He got murdered. He got burned alive. Extrajudicial.
Yeah.
Justice. Extra legal justice. Yeah, extra legal.
Which is not us defending his actions, but like, dude.
But also, well, because what don't they mention in the first one? Like he got off on a technicality or some shit. So they felt like justice hadn't actually been served.
In that case, you don't know for sure that he did it.
That he even actually did it. Exactly. But they burned him alive. And then basically, Freddy Krueger becomes an incredibly powerful thought.
Yeah. This idea of the darkness, the predator, and the suburban.
And Nancy is right. Like her and her friends and her community like created Freddy Krueger.
Right.
And so to me, and then she quote unquote defeats him, however you want to call that.
Yeah.
The energy is still there.
Right.
You know, if you want to like say, you know, energy cannot be created or destroyed. Like what only redirected? Is that the quote? Something like that. So the energy is still there. You can't just get rid of the tulpa energy. It's like really powerful psychic energy.
Yeah.
So then maybe there's some energy in that house. I don't know exactly. And then Jesse, also an adolescent, and this is kind of goes into the possession of it all, is very receptive to that energy,
and is
putting it through what he's going through, which is not what Nancy and Glenn were going through.
So he makes a different version of the same monster.
A different version of the same monster that does different things to reflect his specific anxieties.
Which is about being gay.
I'll touch on that later. I don't want to get to it yet.
We're saving that juicy morsel.
Yeah, well, obviously, like, it's pretty obvious that to anybody watching, do you think they picked it up in the 80s? At what point were people watching Freddy's Revenge and being like, this is gay?
I think right away.
Right away. Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's a reason why they immediately redirected. Also, it's explicitly gay. At least one of the characters is explicitly gay. The gym teacher.
Well, he's at a fetish bar.
Well, and the rumors at school are that he's queer.
Oh, okay.
They say he's queer and that he likes pretty boys.
Pretty boys. Okay.
Like Jesse. Is what Grady says, because Grady thinks Jesse is pretty.
Is a pretty boy, yeah. Because I think Grady might also like pretty boys. Right. There is also that.
But anyway.
But it's still the same idea of like, what are our anxieties? We're concerned about the fact that like we're adolescents going into an adulthood and an uncertain future. We're concerned that there are like these threats that our parents are supposed to be able to protect us from and are not able to.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, and
in this case, Jesse's concerned about like the kind of adult he will become.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. And so it's basically the same energy, but Jesse is adding his own sort of like psychic power. And that's what makes Freddy capable of doing the weird shit he's capable of doing in this movie that he doesn't do in any other movies.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Thanks.
Yeah. That works. Yeah, I was like, he's literally haunting the house. He got, like, Nancy did something that stuck him to the house.
Yeah.
And so his way to get out of being stuck to this house was he had to go through like a different conduit, and he's using Jesse as his conduit or something. Yeah. Like that was how I was like trying to interpret it. But then somehow that ends up with him reestablishing himself as like a real physical figure in the real world.
Yeah.
Which is an odd choice for him.
Which then again, he doesn't do that anymore. He goes back to like attacking people in dreams.
Yeah, it's literally just like that pool scene where he's like, and he's kind of just, I mean, he's scary, but also with him running around, you're kind of just like, well, he's just a guy. And there's like tons of you. What are we doing? Yeah. I mean, he still has his little powers, like he's going through walls and stuff, but like also Lisa just like kicking him and throwing things at him. I'm like, right. You're not a nightmare monster right now, dude. Just go back to your dreams.
Yeah, you're just at a pool party with a bunch of teens.
Yeah. Can also, the other thing that makes Freddy different in this film. This is my joking answer to what his revenge is.
Yes. What is his revenge?
That he's single-handedly trying to balance the scales of the very gendered, unbalanced dynamic of who gets murdered in horror films. Because the number of boys who die at this pool party versus girls. There's like one girl who maybe gets burned up in some bushes.
Yeah.
But we don't even see it. But then it's like boys getting slashed, boys getting trampled. One boy who's like, no one's gonna hurt you. I'm here to help you. And then gets slashed up.
Yeah.
That's a sweet, precious boy. But yeah, it's just like, he's really going after the boys in this movie.
Yep.
Which
is interesting because he does kill boys in the first one.
Yes.
But they do get, again, that like very typical slasher type of death where their death is very quick and maybe even off camera.
Yeah.
And it's really Tina and Nancy who like really get that cat and mouse game and like really get dragged out and played with.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at the death count right now because these movies of the A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, this has the highest death count. It has 10 deaths.
Yeah.
But 6 of them are unnamed pool partiers.
Yeah.
Like pool partier 1, pool partier 2, 3, 4. Yeah, slashed, boiled, burned, trampled, stabbed.
Well, I wasn't even sure if the ones who got boiled actually died. It seemed like a lot of them got out.
Apparently, at least 2 of them got boiled.
Well, then maybe some girls died there. But
yeah.
But yeah, no, the only girl who I was like, I'm pretty sure that girl is dead is the one who like fell into the burning bushes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, okay, she's probably a goner.
Yeah, that's pool partier number 4 burned. Yeah, that's
but most of them, the slashed ones and the trampled ones, it's like, these are male bodies being treated in the way that normally female bodies are treated in slashers.
Yeah, which is interesting because, again, like, it just doesn't feel that way. Like, I felt like when I was thinking about the sequel of it all, I'm like, okay, well, something like, especially in horror movies, like, what makes a sequel is like a higher body count. But when I was like reflecting on it, I was like, it didn't feel like a higher body count.
No, because like less people that we cared about died,
right? And like, again, especially if we are like taking out 6 people in one scene,
it doesn't feel as impactful
or as like as intimate as when like we take down Tina, especially
since they were just people we didn't know.
Yeah,
and some of them
they don't even have names.
Yeah, they're pool party people.
Yeah,
pool partiers.
Pool partiers. Yeah,
yeah. And even when they do die, a lot of them you're sort of like, well, did they die? You could survive that maybe. Like, it's not, you don't get a clear, like, oh, they're dead moment. You know?
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel as impactful.
Yeah.
And, definitely not as intimate.
Mm-hmm. So, it's just like, because who do we get to see die? We see the coach die.
Yeah.
We get that moment. And then Grady dies.
That's kind of
And then it's the pool party. And then, like, I think one of the partiers who kind of like tries to like negotiate, to reason with,
he's like, we're not going to hurt you,
and then he gets got, and then
I like that guy.
Guess if you want, the other female character Carrie in that last scene,
right? Yeah,
does
which
get
maybe
stabbed.
or maybe not is a dream.
What do you want to call that? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like it's officially a higher body count.
Yeah, but it's like none of those deaths compared to Tina.
No, it doesn't feel that way.
Glenn.
Yeah.
God. Speaking of the pool party, Lisa exists.
She's in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, she really is, I think, more than Grady, like Jesse's kind of companion through this.
No, she totally is.
Yeah. And she's kind of giving scholarly behavior.
No, she's totally following in Nancy's footsteps by like doing her research, doing the reading. She also tries to pull a bit of a Glenn where she's like, we'll stay up all night if we have to. I'm not going to let anything happen to you. Like, not that Glenn pulled that off, but she's trying. Yeah. And so we'll see if she does better. I did feel like, A, she's a babe, and I would also go heterosexual for her if I had to. B, if Freddy had tried to possess Lisa instead of Jesse, I feel like she would have had that nipped in the bud. I don't think it would have been as much as it was when Jesse got
Lisa would have been like, no,
yeah,
I'm
she would have been like, nah, I see what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I get it. No.
It's not going to work here.
Well, that's the thing, because yes, Jesse is the final boy, but Lisa actually kind of does a lot more final girling.
Really
in
does.
The end.
Again, like, Jesse does kind of like, well, because he's so scared because things are happening to him that he can't explain. But like, he really is a bit of a lame duck. He just kind of like like he freezes.
Yeah, and he does. He's technically not. I mean, he is technically there, but he's not there for the final confrontation with Freddy. That's all Lisa.
That's all Lisa. And what she ends up doing is kissing him.
I know, which is wild.
Which is weird, like
a weird reversal.
But this actually will be. Yeah, it's like a weird reversal. I think it's supposed to be like true love's kiss. Like our connection is so powerful and so good that it overrides
of a good woman and heterosexuality.
Yeah, it overrides this awful nightmare king demon.
But the idea of like forcing a kiss on a known child molester is just like boggles the mind a little.
Then, and then he's like, and he like gets set on fire somehow.
Okay, yeah, I did not understand, like, because it's interesting, because this isn't something that Lisa actively does. No. She doesn't like light him on fire.
No,
like, it makes sense that you would think that'd be the way to kill him. Light him on fire. That's that's his weakness. That makes sense. But no, he just sets on fire.
Yeah, he just combusts after having been kissed.
Lisa says something about him returning to hell or whatever, and I'm like, is she kind of like Nancy, where she's starting to get a little bit of a control? She's realizing the control that she has, and so just by saying that, she's like sending him to hell
again, like the psychic power.
Yeah,
it's like, I have decided.
I've
decided. And then eventually he figures out how to get back to Nancy.
Yeah,
somehow. Yeah. But also, I will say that as far as like what defeats Freddy.
Yeah.
It never makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
So like the kiss is weird.
Yeah.
I think in like the fourth one, someone like literally holds up a mirror and like his reflection destroys him.
Well, because I guess what it's supposed to be every time is just sort of like reclaiming your own power.
Exactly.
Because Nancy figured it out. She's like, I'm going to turn away from you. You don't have your power. Lisa's like, you don't have your power. You're actually Jesse. Nice try.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's that. I do think that this is also probably a reason why this film ended up so gay.
Yeah.
Is that Lisa probably should have been the main character. Yeah. And Jesse should have been her like new boyfriend who started acting weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then there would have been like way less gay scenes and like more opportunities for Lisa to have a kind of cat and mouse with like, is it her boyfriend? Is it Freddy?
Is it
Dreams
Freddy?
Of Freddy when she's dreaming of Jesse.
The person that you are the closest to is also often the most dangerous to you.
Yeah. Which would have made it a very normal, like, hetero slasher and, like you're saying, a good metaphor for, like, domestic violence and stuff, though would still have that weird message in its ending of, like, the love of a good woman will like overcome.
I know, right? Yeah.
The violent ways of your man. Like,
right.
Oh. So that's not great. But like they could have made a very normal hetero slasher and they didn't by making Jesse the main character.
Right. And so giving him a girlfriend and a boyfriend.
Yes. Should we talk about Grady?
Let's talk about Grady.
Because we meet him in this baseball scene.
Yes.
And
they're
sports
tussling.
I don't know why. Sports always come across just so gay.
Sports are gay.
They're just really gay.
Right. So
in the horror movies we've watched,
they're tussling. Does Jesse literally get pants?
He gets pants.
Come on.
Did you know there's a pantsing epidemic in my middle school right now?
No.
Why are boys like this?
It's so uncool.
It's so uncool. It's so no. It's really not okay.
What a huge privacy violation. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's a total privacy violation. But yes, that is what Grady does. He pants him, and then he starts tussling, wrestling up on him.
Yeah, and
like, why are you as a man?
Because adolescent boys cannot keep their hands off of each other.
It's so fucking weird.
So, and it has to look like violence.
Right. It has to be like pranks or teasing.
Or roughhousing, wrestling.
The scene where, okay, so there's the scene where Jesse's kind of falling asleep in his science class or whatever class he's in.
Right, yeah.
And Grady cannot keep his eyes off him.
Nope.
Because he's teasing him about falling asleep in class. I'm making finger quotes because he's just obsessed with him.
Yeah.
And then somehow Jesse ends up with a snake on his shoulders.
Like, and it's real. That's not a dream.
So did Grady prank him? Or did that snake just get out?
I think the way I understood it is we are meant to believe that the snake got out and ended up on him. And then the science teacher is like,
the science teacher blames Jesse.
Yeah.
He's like, don't play with the snake. And Jesse's like, I literally wasn't.
Did you see me like
get up at all? I'm literally falling asleep at my desk. I know you saw me falling asleep at my desk. Teachers always do.
Yeah.
And of course it had to be a snake because that's our, symbolic representation of temptation and phallic imagery.
Yes.
But Jesse is Eve in the garden. But no, the point is what happens after that is Grady is like laughing at him or something. And then Jesse flips him off, but he's like smiling at him. And I'm like, that's so boys.
Yeah, boys.
Like they have to prank each other and bully each other as like a form of courtship.
Yeah.
It's like how they court each other.
Yeah,
and it's so
not
weird.
allowed to be gentle.
No.
Yeah. But there's a couple of things that Grady mentions or that things about him that are interesting to me.
Yeah.
Did you yes, he's like all over Jesse, cannot keep his goddamn hands to himself.
Starts off as kind of a bully and then somehow ends up being his best friend.
Yeah. But
unclear.
Then they're like, when him and Jesse are talking, they talk about sex.
Yes.
They're talking about sex. They're like engaging in physical like acts with each other.
Yeah.
And then did you catch when Grady says that he threw his grandma down a flight of stairs?
Yes.
What's that about?
I don't know. Was that his attempt at humor?
I do not know.
Yeah.
Why does he say that?
Because he's weird.
Is that like, does he think that is like makes him manly?
I guess maybe.
Again, sort of like I'm violent to the people that I'm actually closest to.
Yeah. But like your grandma?
But your grandma?
Of all people?
Yeah.
Is that right after the scene? Is that when they're all in the lunchroom when that happens?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's also the scene where Grady asks Jesse to go see a movie and get some pizza with him to get his mind off things.
AKA a date.
Yeah, which is very cute. Like, he's being a bro. He's like, yeah, get your mind off things. We could go see a movie and hold hands and have a nice dinner. I'll pay, as a bro. But then after that, what'd you say Lisa's friend's name is? Carrie? Carrie comes over and is like, come to the pool party, Ronnie, because apparently Grady's name is Ron.
It's Ron Grady.
Ron Grady. And she calls him Ronnie and like is kind of hitting on him. Mm-hmm. And Grady's just like, nah, I'm going to go to bed. Bye. Not interested in ladies, only interested in pushing grandmas downstairs.
Yeah, right.
Bye. So it was like, was that a weird like to get people to leave him alone thing, or
right? So
and then he stomps off in a hissy fit because Jesse was like vaguely mean to him for a second.
Yeah,
and he like stomps away.
You were a dick to him. What
is happening with your dynamic?
So sensitive. But then also he has a really interesting line.
Okay.
Which when Jesse comes to him in the night.
That whole scene
during the pool party.
I can't even get into that whole scene right now.
Oh my gosh! But he does have one line in that scene where he's like flustered or frustrated with Jesse. And he says, she's female and you want to sleep with me?
Yes. No, he literally, yes.
He says female.
Yes.
Interesting choice of words, Grady.
Yeah, because it's Jesse says something is trying to get inside my body.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, Lisa's trying to get inside your body. Which first is like, pegging? What are we talking about?
What? Yeah.
Does Grady not understand straight sex, maybe?
Yeah, maybe not.
Because, like, weird role reversal choice there. Mm-hmm. Like, she's trying to get inside of Jesse. Are you telling on yourself? Like, what's happening there?
Again, they're both kind of doing gender wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Grady's literally like, sleep with me. Like, how do you not get the connotations of that when it comes right after clearly implying that Lisa wants to sleep with him in a sexual way?
And then... But he's already just so happens to be in a bed and was also already asleep, maybe?
Yeah. Honestly, we stan a sleepy boy who wants to be in bed by 9.
Oh my God, me. Yes.
Like, the party is clearly still raging. And I'm pretty sure Lisa's parents said to, like, stop by, like,
midnight
or something, So, like, it is not late.
It's not that late.
It is not late. Yeah. Grady's like, I'm in bed.
Yeah.
And then, like, when... fucking Jesse, Lisa's there like, I want to be your Glenn. I'll be your Glenn. And Jesse's like, I'm going to go see if Grady will be my Glenn.
I'm going to go be with Grady, though.
Which I'm like, did they just not think that Lisa... Did they not realize that sounded gay?
Right.
And we're like, well, duh, we can't have Lisa do that because she's not the jock of the movie.
Right.
The jock has to be the protective figure.
Right.
Even though he'll be protecting his boyfriend. Yeah. And that's weird. But, whatever. And then he doesn't really even try to stay awake. He, like, turns off the light. I'm like, Grady, try a little bit.
Right, yeah.
But then he gets murdered.
And then he gets murdered. He gets got.
What do you think of his death?
It's fine.
Well, that's kind of how I felt. And that was disappointing.
Yeah.
Like, he sort of gets strangled, I guess.
Yeah.
He gets, like, choked with claws. And it's like, it's so mild when you think of, like, we were saying Tina's death. But even, like, comparing him to Glenn, where it's like, sure, we don't really fully see what happens to Glenn, but we do know he gets turned into a fountain of blood.
Yeah.
Like, that's a death.
Yeah, that's a death.
The only thing I can really say for Grady's death is that at least he was scantily clad, which is, like, slasher, yay. But, like, it's not a good death.
No, because we're kind of just following Jesse during it.
Yeah.
Because, like, it might be Jesse doing it / Freddy who might be possessing Jesse.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. But then, like, I kind of feel like we rush through that so that Jesse can get back to the pool party where we will have our climactic scene.
Right. And it's a disservice, I feel like.
Yeah, it is. But what I noticed about when Jesse goes back to the pool party after that incident, the parents have gone to bed. It's still like the young kids. And it's kind of become like a makeout party.
I know. We get back and the first shot is like heterosexual couple.
Heterosexual couple.
And here comes Lisa to save the day with her heterosexuality.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, but it's like, think of the power this film could have had if they more closely tapped into, like, if Grady's death had been closer to Tina's, and then we have the scene of Jesse running away just like Rod had to when his girlfriend died when they were in bed together. It's like Jesse now is the Rod, and his like who could have killed Rod besides who could have killed Grady besides for Jesse?
Exactly.
In the same way of Rod and Tina.
Yeah.
Like that's juicy. That's a good parallel, and they do nothing with it.
They didn't do it.
They're like, here's heterosexuality again.
Great, thanks. Well, so we've kind of already talked about the adults.
Yeah.
Talked about the parents and that they exist.
Yeah, and that they're pretty good.
And I was also noticing, because so much of this does happen at school.
Yeah.
Wow, this looks like a well-funded school.
Yeah, no. That seems nice.
I was like, wow, they got a lot of cool stuff. Like their bio teacher has a pet snake. That's cool.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And of course it's the 80s, so the boys and the girls get separated for gym class.
Yeah.
Obviously. And another thing that really struck me about like the school aspect of this movie is that the Coach Schneider, actually can punish Jesse and Grady.
Yeah.
And
for
like
their tomfoolery.
And be like, what does he make him do? He makes him like stay, or makes him do detention.
He makes them do push-ups.
Push-ups, yeah. Like he actually like punishes them because they were
well, Grady fully pantsed Jesse.
Yeah, that's harassment. That's not cool.
Yeah, I don't know how Jesse got whipped in it because they were both wrestling, and so it's easier to just punish them both and figure out who's actually at fault.
And then they can push up together and talk about sex.
Yes, literally.
Yeah.
No, that whole conversation is crazy because it goes from like, talking about the gym teacher and how I guess just the rumor around school is that he's gay.
He's gay, yeah.
Like I don't know why. Grady says the guy gets his rocks off like this, hangs around queer S&M joints downtown. And my first question was, is there more than one queer S&M
joints?
Yeah, joints. Tell me more, Grady. Yeah. That's pretty dope of this little sleepy suburban town. Okay.
And but then I was like, thriving kink community.
Yes, but also like, why do you as a high school student like know this about him? Is this true, or are these just the rumors around school?
And again, like, is this like because it's 1985?
Right. Well, because there is an aspect of this film, and why it comes across as gay is because I'm sure they were at least aware that their young boy audience would be scared of that.
Absolutely.
Of the idea of this gym teacher sexualizing them. Like, that is scary to a young teenage, straight boy in the 80s.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like, it's 1985. Like, people know what HIV is now.
Exactly. Yeah. There's definitely that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely back to the, like, Jesse as monster and victim thing of, like, how gayness is being viewed at the time, like, and how gay people are conceptualizing themselves as both, like...
Right, and the way that we're, especially in that first one, because, like, Freddy is so, like, like, canonically he's a child murderer, but come on, let's get real,
Yeah.
And, which we talked about in the last one.
Yeah.
But... yeah, what's interesting to me is like what we kind of are doing is we are doing like this very 1980s thing of creating a category of sexual deviancy.
Yes.
That includes true deviancy and just non-heterosexuality.
Run-of-the-mill gayness.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what's happening is like Jesse is absolutely like kind of being met with the reality that he is queer.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit, what do I do about it?
Yeah.
And so like
does that make me a monster?
And am I a monster? And like, am I the same as this child predator?
Yes.
The dude who made literal finger knives to harm children.
Yes. Could
am
we be
I
the same?
Are we the same?
Could be.
No.
No, but yeah, that's kind of what I was like, because of, as you said, the gym teacher is Freddy's first victim in this film, right? First one?
Yeah. And it takes half an hour.
I know, it takes so fucking long.
Forever.
But I'm just sort of like, why does he target the gym teacher? Yeah. I mean, the motivation is kind of obvious if you assume Jesse is somehow in control of this because the gym teacher is like bullying him, plus is a symbol of his latent homosexuality that he wants to suppress, right? So like you get that, but also I feel like there's this thing of Freddy where the movie wants us to think Freddy is sort of lashing out at the gym teacher because of their similarities, because they are both sexual deviants. You know what I mean? That they're like kind of drawing that line between them. I don't know. But why does Freddy have to bring it to such a kinky place?
Right? Why does it have to get so kinky? Well, so here's the thing.
Why the whipping?
That whole scene where Jesse, like, he wakes up and that was kind of is this a dream?
Yeah, he's just walking to a kink bar.
And he's just walking down the road in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And he just, like, goes into a kink bar and first of all gets in.
Yeah. Then gets a drink.
And
then his gym teacher is there.
And his gym teacher finds him, and instead of being like,
hey, get out of here.
Hey, get out of here, or, oh, we're going to deal with this tomorrow.
Right, yeah. Honestly, my first move.
Yeah. He's like, we're going to go back to the
school. I'm going to move this minor to another location.
Back to the school to make him run laps.
And then take a shower.
And then he can take a shower. So it is very like S&M fantasy.
Yeah, it's very like porno setup, like dream logic.
Yeah.
Fantasy, porno
and like,
logic.
Of course, seeing your teacher at a kink bar, of course he would want to interrupt his lovely evening.
Right, yes. To go focus only on this boy.
Punish you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focus on this boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. Everything about it is weird.
Is the coach wearing a harness, or is it just a piece of clothing that just really
is meant to evoke
a harness?
I don't know, actually, now I can think about it. In my mind, he's wearing a harness,
but
I don't think I looked closely.
Yeah. And then,
it was just like a vest or something.
And then, it's super weird because then Jesse's in trouble and he has to be punished, so he has to run laps.
Yeah.
And of course, it's the coach's job to do that, not.
Yeah. Like, take him home to his parents.
Or call the cops and be like, there's a fucking minor in this bar.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you doing?
Yeah. And
any actual gay man in the 80s.
Truly.
Teacher, like, satanic panic, like, AIDS, like, you don't be alone with this minor at night.
No freaking way. Yeah. Although then you might not necessarily want to call the cops in that bar.
That's true. It's unclear how gay that bar is versus just quote unquote kinky.
Kink, yeah.
Just because Grady thinks it's a queer kink bar.
Right, because to him is kink.
Because there definitely seemed to be some straightness going on there.
Oh, very much so. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I don't know that there was any gayness going on.
But then he and then the showering, right? And so Jesse's the one who's been running, so it makes sense for him to shower.
The coach is just in his office and then starts to get pelted by a bunch of balls.
Right.
Which, okay.
Yeah.
And then
again, the tulpa psychic energy is like,
yeah. And then somehow Freddy telekinetically drags him into the shower and derobes him.
And rips off his clothes.
And starts whipping him with a towel. And then ends up killing him with his claws?
With his finger knives, yeah. Just like tearing up his back.
And then we see Jesse still naked in the shower, but with finger knives now.
So
it's like, oh.
And of course, the coach is sort of like strung up.
Yes.
Yeah. And left.
Yeah.
In the showers. And then Jesse runs away.
Yes.
And that's when the cops find him.
Never gets his clothes back.
Nope.
So I guess they're still at the school.
And so again,
evidence.
Then that actually happened.
Right.
It wasn't a dream.
That was real life.
Yeah.
And Jesse thinks it's a dream and then sees him dead doesn't see him dead, but sees all the cops there the next day. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, at least in new, like not in old Elm Street fashion where they would have just been like, yeah, somebody died here, school's still in session. They actually roped it off, which was good of them.
Yeah.
Like, that was good. Yeah. School doesn't need to continue as normal.
Right. If the teacher was violently murdered
on school
property just hours before. Yeah. It's literally an active crime scene. Shut down school.
Let's shut down school, yeah.
But then this is actually also where, again, like we kind of already talked about the parents, but then what's really funny is that do you remember Jesse's supposed to have a younger sister?
Yes, she shows up.
She pops up out of nowhere.
In the first scene, she's chewing her cereal called Fu Manchus.
Okay.
Which I think is a reference to the Fu Manchu stereotype with the long fingernails and Jesse Freddy with his finger knives. I think that's what they're going for, but in a racist 80s
but in
way.
A racist way, yeah.
That's basically the only thing that the sister does.
Well, and then she, as as Jesse is trying to talk with his parents.
Oh, right, duh.
Yeah, and they're like trying to help, and then little sister walks in, and like the conversation shuts down. And so like the way, like what that kind of reminds me of is like his parents are trying to be helpful, they're trying to be supportive.
Yeah.
Sort of the way maybe parents in the 80s would have tried in a way to support their queer child. Yeah. But then
we don't talk about
when
it.
the younger child
Yeah.
Then it's not actually no longer appropriate to be talking about only like certain,
Well, and that's the thing, because when Jesse starts to get really scared of himself is because he wakes up over his sister's bed, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, never mind, go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And so once again, they're conflating his queer desires with being an actual child molester.
To harm children.
Which is not great. Yep. Not great. But yeah, I think that gets to like what his actual, I forgot that his sister does play a role in that, of like that being what his actual fear is like assuming it is all a gay metaphor, that he is scared based on the stories he has heard about gayness, that being gay means that he is a child predator.
Yeah, that he's also, a
like
pedophile. That is literally what those are the same thing.
Yeah. And like, I mean, it's fair for him to think that just because, I mean, he kind of knows who Freddy is, and also the number of gay shit that Freddy says to him. Like, it's easy to conflate the gayness with the child molestation because he's saying things like, Daddy can't help you now. I need you, Jesse. And it's like stroking his cheek and like, try it on for size. And Jesse's being all, he's inside of me. He owns me. Like, there's stuff is happening there.
Yeah. He also says, kill for me.
Yes.
Twice. He says it twice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And then like this Nightmare King, this gay demon actively interrupts his one attempt at like a heterosexual relationship where he's like finally has his kiss with Lisa. They're canoodling in the pool house
with all the other heterosexual
and then
couples.
It's like his own heterosexual experience. Like he can't handle it. He has to get possessed by a demon in that moment. Like, and go straight to Grady's bedroom. That is when he runs straight off.
That's true.
To Grady.
Yeah, he's been compelled.
Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. I saw a few different people online who like, because this film has a certain icon status among the gay community.
Very. Yeah.
And there were quite a few people who are like, yeah, I didn't realize it was gay when I first watched it. But now I'm like, the resonance between that scene and like my own attempts to have like heterosexual relationships where I would get grossed out kissing girls and then like go be like, I need to go see what my friends are doing. You know, like it's such a like, I don't know. Like the gayness of this movie is like hard to understand as not intentional because of how prevalent it is.
Right.
But also, if it were intentional, it's homophobic because it's equating gayness with child molestation.
Yeah.
But also, so much of the joy that people get watching it is because they recognize those gay things and like resonate with those gay things, and that feeling as a metaphor of like that feeling when you're like first coming out and gayness is not something that's like okay in your society, of feeling like a monster, and like how gay people have always been able to find themselves in the monster despite their dark deeds. But how does that play differently when the dark deeds are specifically child molestation, something that gay people are like accused of?
Yeah, right.
You know, so it's like such a film intention, and yet it's so joyful to watch from a gay perspective.
Yeah, so fun.
Despite that.
So, like we've mentioned, it is hot possession summer.
Yes.
And there is absolutely a possession element to this movie.
Yes.
Not necessarily in the first one.
No, not at all in the first one.
Yeah.
But very much in this one. And I want to talk about how possession works as a metaphor, not just for gayness, though it definitely works as a metaphor for that, as gayness. We just laid out.
Yes. Yep.
So without further ado.
Literary corner.
So the main thing is that, like, as we've said...
Sorry.
Possession.
Yeah, right. I was trying to think of a good tag, but then you started talking and I was like,
possession! Possession, I swear!
Anyway.
As we said, the thing about, like, horror genre, like, something that horror genres do really well is that they reflect a society's anxieties and fears, you know? And, like, in next episode, I will talk more specifically about, like, the mythology of possession and like probably most specifically Christian beliefs around possession and like demons and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Because for July, we're going to do The Exorcist.
Yeah. So I feel it's more appropriate for that.
And it really is like, it cannot be understated what a cultural phenomenon that movie is and how much it did put the idea of a possession into our collective conscious. Yeah. Totally.
But before we get to that, next month, I wanted to touch on like what possession can represent on like a metaphorical level and why it's a type of story that we sort of are drawn back into. And like I do think the gayness is a big thing of it. But by that I mean the fragmentation of identity in a more broad sense. So like if you think of a pretty foundational in a way possession story, novella, I'm thinking of Robert Louis Stevenson's Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from 1886.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a way you could say that's possession.
Yeah. There's the scientific explanation. Yes.
And like what he's specifically saying that he's trying to do is separate the quote unquote good parts of himself from the quote unquote evil.
Yeah.
So he's getting possessed by his own self.
Right.
But the worst part of himself versus the good parts of himself.
Right. So instead of like allowing himself to contain multitudes.
Yes.
He's split himself into two opposing.
Yes. Which is a great idea.
Beings.
That will never have bad consequences.
Yeah, that'll be fine. They'll get along perfectly.
But that's like what possession can be, even without that like very specifically being laid out in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, is that it's this story about like an internal struggle that we face against like who we are in our greatest ideas of ourselves, like following our greatest ideals.
Self-actualization.
Versus who we are when we're following our worst impulses. A little bit of like a super ego id thing too, you know, like, and yeah, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde definitely does kind of end up with the implication that like trying to separate those things instead of like integrating them will lead to some disasters, you know?
Self-destruction.
Yeah, because we do contain multitudes as people, and that can be anxiety inducing, knowing that like we are all, you know, only a few steps away from killing somebody, you know, like like, and that we have these things that we like wish we didn't, like greed or whatever our vices happen to be, you know, and like how do we control those? How do we, or do we let them take us over? Like that's definitely something that possession movies allow us to like get into, possession stories in general. And I wanted to bring up Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This was the first time when I realized that it's not called The Strange Case or even A Strange Case. It's just Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Strange Case.
Huh. No article. Just
weird.
Strange Case. They were doing it wild back in the 1880s. But anyway,
not even on the Strange Case.
Nope. Just Strange Case. This is a Strange Case.
It is, I mean, yeah.
Stevenson, the writer, had a friend, John Addington Symonds, who was like a writer in his own right, but also a proponent of love between men in the sort of high-minded way that they would say it back then, but just means that they were gay.
And an MLM, not a multi-level marketing scheme, but men who love men.
Yeah. And he wrote, like, he said that the novella touches one too closely. So, like, even back in, like, that period, people are being like, okay, this idea of possession and, like, our darkest impulses and having to keep part of ourselves hidden away, perhaps closeted. You know, that's, like, a little too close to gayness. Like, some people interpret they're like some evil deeds that Hyde does that Jekyll won't confess to even on his deathbed. He's like, no, I'm not going to say those ones. And everybody's like, well, he must mean gay shit, right? He's talking about gay shit. The love that dare not speak its name. That gay shit. So I don't know. I just find it interesting that there's like this possession and gayness thing kind of going on in that story too. But I think it does come from this idea of like, the fragmentation, these parts of our identity that we like and want to have out in the open, and then the like darker.
And what that also makes me think of is that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was like one of the first like horror adaptations for film.
Yeah.
In like I think 1927.
Right. It's like a short.
And it's not a feature length. I think it's like,
well, to be fair, it's a novella, minutes. Not a full length novel.
Exactly.
So
yeah. But yeah.
And I do think there's kind of like a subset of this idea the subset of like novels about possession and probably movies about possession too. You would know this more. That's like really about addiction. Because Hyde also starts to kind of like depend on his little potion, you know? And like there's a reason why it's kind of cliche to say like things like, you know, you're not yourself when you drink, you know, like that kind of idea. And so that's like another rich realm of like the fragmentation of identity and how we become a different person when we're high.
Because like to me...
And what you were saying about Jesse kind of being on drugs.
He is, when he's taking those stimulants, those are drugs. Yeah. But... yeah, like to me, possession, you know, is so much about like our fears around losing our control and our sense of self. Yeah. And like, definitely the same with addiction is like we lose control over our relationship with that substance or that behavior.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that I think makes possession interesting as metaphor is that often we're losing ourselves in like our most vulnerable moments. Like, because in these stories, it often happens in this moment of like deep vulnerability. Like Jesse is literally sleeping when he's, you know,
pretty vulnerable. Yeah.
You know, but it also happens in moments of like deep grief or like isolation or when you're really exhausted and you can't fight it back anymore. Kind of how it happens in, you were just talking about Ash. Like it kind of happens when these characters are worn down a little bit more, you know, like... And also, like, when we're just kind of too young to defend ourselves, when we're the vulnerable because we're children, which is when a lot of possession stories take place, is around children. Yeah. You know? But I think, yes, it's speaking to this fear of, like, losing control over ourselves. But I also think that there's something about, like, being afraid of what we will do when we are at our weakest. Like, what we will give up and what we will give into. And I feel like that also kind of hits the addiction thing of, like... yes, we're afraid of losing control, but sometimes we want to lose control.
Yeah, because having control is hard.
Yeah. And it can be kind of like a relief to like not be in control of yourself, to be like, I'm not responsible for what happened there. I was just along for the ride. Like I was having an out of body thing, you know, like it's kind of tempting. Yeah. I was also thinking of, I don't know if you could call this a possession, but whatever's going on in the Lord of the Rings between Frodo and the ring.
The ring does have like a power. Yeah,
I don't know if you would exactly call it possession, but it's definitely corrupting him and changing his personality, and it fully changed Gollum's
bad influence,
you know, personality and stuff, and like how the ring's power gets stronger the more worn down Frodo gets, and how he does give into it in his weaker moments, you know. And like just like how blurred the line gets between what Frodo's doing because he wants to versus what the ring is sort of like urging him to do, like that kind of like possession, that it's like, it's just nice to have something that we can use to like excuse our worst behaviors.
Yeah. And I think like addictions and just in general other like mental illnesses.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know how many freaking movies I've seen that have like sort of that supernatural bent where there appears to be something that I think, you know, we, or at least I would call like a demon or a possession. Right. And it's just like literally an allegory for grief.
Yes.
Or like depression.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you don't... I'm thinking anyway. Lights Out is a good movie. But yeah, it's just like, of course, like you think that there's a demon possessing your mom because she's your primary caregiver and she's depressed and she can't function.
Yeah.
And she can't take care of you.
Right. And you don't want to put that blame on her.
Yeah. So
you
obviously
want to put it somewhere else.
It's not that her brain isn't producing enough serotonin.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Yeah. I mean, possession is a way to like sort of exercise power, or in the case you're talking about, be the person in power and not have any of the responsibility.
Yeah.
Or any of the consequences.
Yeah.
Even though the consequences are there. And this actually got me thinking about another sort of more recent, not super recent, but more recent thing. Because I was thinking about how there's also like technological horror. Our fear of technology.
Oh my gosh.
You know?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's so many fantastic AI horror movies coming out right now.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about that in terms of like giving in and letting something else make all your decisions and decide for you.
Yes.
Like how rife that is for like an AI possession movie about AI making all your decisions for you and it's actually a demon possessing you.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's not only in our time. Like I don't think it's as present in this film, but in the first one has Freddy using like the telephone and the television.
Yeah.
As like sites of his, you know, how he can reach out.
Yep.
And I was also thinking of the novel and movie Ringu.
Yeah.
It's like a piece of technology is literally possessed by a demon.
And there is possession in I was thinking Ringu and Ju-on.
Oh yeah,
like
Ju-on.
They're being possessed by ghosts. They're not like these weird like supernatural or like I don't know what else to call it other than like Christian,
like demonic,
like demons. It's not like that. They're just
there's so many other types of possession.
They're people who used to be alive
and now they're dead, and now they're possessing you,
and maybe they're pissed about that.
Yeah, and they're sticking.
And they're gonna make it your problem.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, it's. I mean, that's the other thing. I saw one statistic that was like basically possession, like beliefs and mythologies show up in like it was something like 70-something%, like 3/4 of the world's societies have had those beliefs,
some idea
you know?
of it. Yeah,
like,
there's
like it's not just Christian demon stuff. Like there's a lot of like deities, possession, or like tricksters,
God, those tricksters. Even like if you piss off your ancestors,
like possession. And there's also like good forms of possession where you're getting possessed to like convey information or like see something from the future or something, you know?
Yeah.
But that's, you know, older school possession and not necessarily the sort of possession that like causes fear and anxiety, at least not to us anymore in the same way. It's more like these things around control and choice and technology. And the other one, I didn't think about this. I was like just sort of looking around at like possession novels and stuff and seeing what was out there recently and stuff. And climate change is, I mean, there's a lot of work going on in the climate change,
climate anxiety,
speculative fiction world, like, but it's like, where the land itself is changing. Yeah. It's not the land we recognize anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe that's stretching the definition of possession a bit, but like, I'm thinking of like Annihilation. That's sort of a land possessed. Or even Yellow Jackets. Did you watch Yellow Jackets?
I haven't watched Yellow Jackets yet.
It's unclear if there's something supernatural.
It's the next on our list.
Yeah.
I promise.
It's unclear if there's something supernatural going on or if it's just the girls doing it themselves. But there's something about...
There's psychic energy.
Yeah, but there's something about the nature itself around them that like wants things.
The kind of like unknowable and untamable way that nature is that scares
like
people.
Possessing them to do things. So they're like being possessed by the wild nature. Or the nature itself is like no longer hospitable. Like we, like society as a concept has done a lot to tame nature and make it like a safe space. Yeah. But a lot of those things that we've done to tame nature have now made it less safe.
It was actually couldn't have been a worse way to go about it.
It's had like the opposite effect. And so like,
well, and it's our hubris as human beings. Like, of course we can tame nature.
Yeah, of course we can use all these energies.
Of course we can just like throw chemical fertilizers on fields for decades and decades. It'll be fine.
And instead we've made this world like so much harsher to us.
Yeah.
And like, we're left with this feeling that there is something inside the earth itself that like once nurtured us and now wants us dead. The same idea. I mean, it's very similar to when your mom is all the mom possession movies, you know, the thing that is meant to nurture you now wants to kill you. Yeah. And I think that's another site where we're going to see more and more and more horror come on because not just as like possession, but like in general, I think. But,
are you going to talk about this? About again, what I was also thinking about, what made me think about, Evil Dead is that like the Deadites are like also kind of possess.
They are well, I mean we kind of talked about that in our Evil Dead episode where we're like they're not zombies, they are technically kind of they are demons canonically, right? And so they're sort of doing possession, but it's a possession of dead bodies sort of, or that are corrupted bodies. I don't know. That is an interesting one too. I wasn't planning to touch on much just because we already did it as a movie, but I do think it is an interesting, I mean, I think that is one of those versions of possession that is about like, because the thing about the fragmented self and like isolation. You know, the internal struggle that we have when we are on our own to like be good, be better. You know?
Well, then how hard it is to meet a human being's needs. Alone. And
just, how isolated Ash gets in that film. Though he's not the one being possessed. Well, he does get kind of possessed. His hand gets possessed.
Remember his hand? And then
his hand fully gets possessed. Actually, I forgot about that.
Some very final boy stuff of him.
But like, what do you do? when you're alone and the only person you have to battle is yourself.
Yeah, in a literal cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a good stuff. I don't know. I just think that these are kind of the themes we're going to be circling around during Hot Possession Summer. Like this film in particular is definitely hitting on that like identity and internal struggle stuff, even though it's supposed to be this other figure, this Freddy, who's separate from Jesse. It's like, but it's also about Jesse being gay. To put, a funny take on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see some technology stuff. And yeah, as I said, next ep, we'll talk more about like specific mythologies around possession.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
And I also think especially what we'll probably get into is I've actually kind of already been talking about it a little bit, especially with the idea that Freddy is a tulpa.
Yeah.
That he has been created into the collective conscious through very powerful psychic energy.
Yeah.
And the most powerful of the psychic energy is the psychic energy of an adolescent.
Yeah.
Because they are on that cusp, that liminal space between childhood and adulthood.
That's where borders are collapsing. That's
exactly.
where you're vulnerable.
And that's where they're both.
Yeah.
They're both. It's just like, well, are you an adult or a child? It's like, yeah, both. It's both. Yeah.
And it's great with Jesse in this film, too, because of that masculine, feminine thing he's got going on, that gay, straight thing. Like, he's collapsing all the borders. Is he the victim or is he the killer?
Yeah.
He's both.
Yeah, really interesting stuff. Because I think about, the main thing I think in like American horror when we see possession, because again, like so many cultures have an understanding of a possession and it's not usually something like a demon or anything like that.
One thing I saw that was kind of interesting to me, that same statistic when I was just looking at like possession mythology a little bit, was that the one place where you don't see it as much is in like indigenous North American and South American cultures.
No freaking way.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
They have, or I mean, like significantly less. I don't know. I want to double check that stat, but I just thought that was interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the idea of Christianity, of course, has a bunch, it talks about exorcism and like spirit possession and stuff, like Legion and things.
Yeah.
But the idea of Christianity then coming through these other cultures and then basically reforming their gods and spirits and beliefs as like evil demons that are possessing you, and just how that Christian belief of demons and possession sort of interplays and how they use it to like declare things bad.
Yes. Yeah.
There was one pastor who kind of like within the last 10 years or something was like, lesbians exist because they are being possessed by boys.
Oh.
Yes. So there's also like that. You're only gay because you're possessed by a gay demon.
By a gay demon.
Like that's like a literal belief that some random pastors hold. You know, like the gayness is evil and it's a demon.
Oh, well, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So, okay, this leads me so beautifully because I've been holding on to, honestly, my big...
Oh, yeah.
My big, deep thought.
I love this. I love when you have a big, deep thought to bring us home.
If I may, is that I do not think that Jesse is gay.
Okay.
I think a more accurate way to understand Jesse is that Jesse is bisexual. And so I totally understand the gayness because, it lends itself beautifully to bisexual or like invisibility, right?
Yeah, first off.
Because to me, Jesse's obsessed with Grady. Like,
yeah, we get it.
Obvious.
We get it.
But to me, Jesse does have a connection with Lisa.
Yeah.
And cares for Lisa. And in a way does want to be with her.
Yeah. But I guess I've just never been sure if that was a sexual desire.
Right. Or, well, because this is the thing is that, like you were mentioning, people who watch this movie and now understand that they are gay watching this movie as somebody who understands themselves to be attracted to multiple different genders. Yeah. It's part of it, right? It's like the same thing. There's the added invisibility of like, well, sorry, like even in homosexuality, like you have to pick one.
Yeah.
Right. And so we've kind of been talking about how like, I don't know, how many times have we used the word both?
Yeah.
It's both.
Yeah.
This is a slasher and a possession movie.
Right, yeah.
Right? Jesse is the psycho killer and the final boy. Right?
It's a sequel and it's also a whole new thing.
It's very bisexual.
Yeah,
it's very, why not both?
Yeah.
And so to me, like what I see is Jesse is he understands. He's like, uh-oh, I'm not entirely heterosexual.
Yeah.
And this could be bad because it's 1985. Right. And so he conjures up this tulpa of Freddy who like is representing his anxieties about not being entirely heterosexual.
Yeah.
And trying to destroy the part of him that is not 100% heterosexual. Right. I think I saw like something on like TikTok once, like somebody was asking somebody, like, oh, so you're gay? And they're like, no, I'm bisexual. So I'm half gay on my dad's side. Right. You know, and so I think like that's what Jesse's psychic power is trying to do. He's an adolescent. He is coming into adulthood. He is both a child and an adult at the same time. He is understanding the kind of person he will come to be, like his identity. And he's scared because he probably does think like, oh God, like having same-sex attraction is
evil.
Is the same as pedophilia.
Yeah.
Right. And so what he's trying to do is as thoroughly as possible destroy everything that is not explicitly heterosexual.
Right.
So he kills the coach. His friend dies. I don't know so much about the pool party when they are engaged so deeply in heterosexual activity, and then Freddy pops out there.
I mean, he's just mad at them for being able to comfortably express their heterosexuality.
Exactly, to be able to...
When he was so stunted in his attempts.
Yeah, in public. There's other people around.
Yeah.
And it's like accepted and encouraged.
Yeah.
So I just kind of see, like, I see Jesse as with a lot of internalized biphobia. And probably some internalized homophobia too, right?
Yeah.
You know, because he's living in 1985.
Well, that's because I'm wondering how much he would have a conception of bisexuality, or if it would have been like, I have to be one or the other, so I'm going to be this one,
right? And
this is the safe option.
And since there is only one or the other, and I am experiencing attraction to members of the same sex, therefore it must be worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And you know, we've talked a little bit. I don't remember in what instance, but we've talked on this podcast about like compulsory heterosexuality.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's what Jesse's doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Jesse's like, I will be with Lisa because he cares for Lisa.
Yeah, it's not hard for him to be with Lisa.
Yeah, but even though maybe he would actually prefer and maybe even be happier in a relationship with someone of the same sex.
Yeah.
He's like, but that's not an option for me because it's 1985.
Yeah.
Right. And if I'm going to live in these suburbs and have a family and parents who actually care about me and show up to my room when I scream in the middle of the night after having a nightmare, then this is what it means. This is what I have to do, what I have to overcome, what demon must be exorcised. So to me, it's like, this is such a, to me, it's a beautiful allegory for bisexuality.
Yeah.
And the specific kind of confusion that comes with being attracted to people of multiple genders and figuring out like what the hell to do with that.
Yeah.
In a society that is like, there's no such thing as both. You get one or the other.
Yeah.
But then being a person who's like, but why not both? ¿Por qué no ambos?
Yeah.
That was really bad Spanish accent, but yeah.
Yeah.
So this...
But yeah, because every situation that's being presented as both is also being aligned with evilness and badness.
It can't be both. I'm sorry, that's not an option for you. Right?
Yeah.
So this does lead me into my genre corner. Because of the both of it all, because it is hot possession summer, and of course the original A Nightmare on Elm Street is a very straightforward slasher, like textbook.
Right. Yeah.
And so I was thinking, okay, we've got ourselves a sequel, right? We've got ourselves a slasher. It's a sequel to a slasher, but this movie has a weird possession element.
Yeah.
Right. So again,
that kind of comes out of nowhere.
It's both, you know. So yeah, but really, like, the conclusion I came to is that this movie is not really a sequel.
No,
because again, we've kind of talked about what makes a sequel. Why do you think it's not a sequel?
Because it breaks too many of the established rules from the first one.
Yeah.
It's like, just because you have the same bad guy doesn't mean you're telling the same kind of story or continuing the story. This is not, like, it would work better. Well, and I think wasn't that part of the original idea with The Nightmare on Elm Street is to have like same universe but different scary stories? but all in the one universe, I think.
Yep.
Isn't that an idea? This would have worked better as a different story in the same universe.
Yep.
Because like the little touches of like Nancy's diary and things like that are really cool to have those like little touchstones of like, oh, they're connected. But having it be like trying to continue that story when you're clearly trying to tell a different story just doesn't work. It can't be both.
It can't be both. Yes, exactly. You have to pick one.
Yeah.
This movie's not really a sequel. Like the biggest connecting piece, yes, Nancy's diary, but like Freddy's the connecting piece.
Right.
He's the only character who's in both of these films. So there's no continuation of the final girl.
Yeah.
Right. But honestly, it is the fact that Freddy is the one connecting factor in all of these films.
Yeah.
It also, what really, even though this movie is not necessarily a slasher movie, like really helps put Freddy for me at like the top tier of psycho killers and slasher films, you know. He really is kind of an psycho killer, really, in some ways.
Well, he was one of the first.
He's one of the first, yeah. One of the first slashers,
Yeah, and I mean, I know they've did him versus Jason and all that bullshit stuff, and I don't know how those things shake out, but just from my
those movies are not good
mediocre understanding, the amount of supernatural power that Freddy is rocking up with from the jump.
Yep.
Like some of the other ones become more and more supernatural along, but this one starts off right away. He's like, I'm in dreams and I kill you. What up?
Yeah, I'm a nightmare king. And we do find out later as the franchise goes on that he does like quite literally reside in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So like the power that he's rocking with is just like insane.
So we don't really get the continuation of someone's story like a final girl, which is Freddy's still there. That's the one.
And as we were saying, Freddy is pretty different in this film.
Exactly.
He's acting in a different way. He's serving a different function.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even feel like the same Freddy.
Yeah, the continuation, the continuity of the story is like it's really broken up. And we don't really get to learn any new information about past events.
Right, yeah.
To help us explain current events.
Right. It's not like, oh, this new piece of information about Freddy's past is explaining why this thing is going on now.
Yeah.
Which we don't get
Which doesn't happen.
Yeah. Later ones start to reveal more of his backstory. Yeah. Not this one.
Again, in a sequel, we think the kill count should be bigger. Apparently, technically, the kill count is bigger, but it doesn't seem that way.
Yeah. The deaths, because the deaths don't shock. They're not.
Exactly.
Because they don't just, it's not just a higher kill count. It's bigger,
they need to be
bloodier
more
deaths.
They need to be more elaborate.
And like, how do you beat Fountain of Blood?
How do you beat Blood Geyser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not with whatever they did to Grady. Just a little light strangling?
No.
Come on.
Sorry.
Come on.
Yeah.
Tina was thrown around the room.
Yeah, she was fucking upside down. What was that about? So the body count is higher, but the kills are not more elaborate. And again, there's nobody in the from the first movie to die in the second one
to like set the
notice
stakes,
that the stakes are higher. So
turns out the parakeet was actually in the first film. We just never noticed.
Oh God, the parakeet was always in the house. Oh my gosh. And also, so really, truly, the sequel is A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
Because that's when Nancy comes back, and she does indeed die in that final act of the film. Spoiler.
Yeah. R.I.P. Nancy.
So that is truly the continuation of the story.
Yeah.
That's when we get to learn more about Freddy.
Yeah.
That's when we get new characters, you know.
And it's clear that the franchise was like, we're going to ignore Freddy's Revenge.
Yeah.
We're going to pretend it didn't exist and then get back to making the actual sequel.
Yeah. So what this really reminds me of is this movie's really more of a Halloween 3.
Oh, say more.
Season of the Witch. Because, well, so here's the thing. Maybe I
haven't seen any Halloween.
Maybe I've told you this before, or maybe you just knew this, but the Halloween franchise was never meant to just be Michael Myers.
Right.
It was meant to be an anthology series that all took place in the same universe.
Okay.
Right? And so the third one is very different. Michael Myers is not in Season of the Witch.
Okay, there we go.
It is just, it's an evil corporation, because obviously.
Love it.
But Michael Myers has literally nothing to do with it. And so because it wasn't meant to be a Michael Myers movie, it was like Halloween was meant to be an anthology.
Yeah.
But since the first two movies focused on Michael Myers.
That was kind of a fuck up. They shouldn't have done two, man.
They should have done that second one. That should have been the second one.
Yeah.
Right.
And then a few down the road, you can bring back Mike.
Bring back Michael Myers. Yeah. So yeah, it's really more of a Halloween 3. It's just like kind of a different story in the same universe.
Yeah.
Right.
They just fucked up with this one by making it Freddy when it's not Freddy. So I guess maybe he does possess a child in the Dream Child one. Is that true? Is he possessing a child?
Or like, I haven't seen it either. And my understanding is either he's possessing a child, or he has quite literally been reborn and is a child.
Yeah, I guess that's a fine line there.
But I just wanted to, again, talk about the one last little bit about the bothness of this being a slasher and a possession.
Yeah.
Right? But not like a specifically successful slasher, because again, these teens have parents.
Yeah.
And that's actually more of a possession thing. The idea of the possession is that like it's not just the kids out for themselves, it's that there is a threat through the adolescent to the family.
Yeah. A lot of ghost stories are like that.
Yes. And also it's actually the house that's possessed.
Yeah.
Right? When they find the diary and like that whole part of it.
This is kind of a haunted house movie.
Yeah. And so then there is, again, the majority of the psychic energy is sort of centered around Jesse, the adolescent, right? You know? And yeah, he does kind of see himself becoming Freddy. Like he considers himself to be Freddy when Freddy is like killing somebody, right?
Right. Yeah. He's
very
like,
possession.
at first he thought the gym teacher thing was a dream, and then he finds out the gym teacher is dead, and he's like, I killed him. Yeah, right. But because Freddy says kill for me, right, twice. And yeah, I think you already said this, like he sees himself with the finger knives, even though he also sees somebody else doing the killing, kind of.
Yes. Yeah, he's sort of
like knows who Freddy is. He talks to Freddy.
Yeah.
It is both a separate entity and himself.
Yeah, but then like we do get the slasher, like the teens are still dying, right? We still have like the beginning and the end on the school bus, you know. Freddy is still like, you know, getting people with his finger knives. Yeah. We do have like Jesse is still very much a final boy. So this is, I think, you know, we were kind of talking about this and we were like, maybe this wasn't a good way to kick off Hot Possession Summer. I've been thinking about it. I think this is the perfect way to kick off Hot Possession Summer, because we're kind of in like, it's a slasher and a possession. Yeah. And now we can kind of actually
move into full possession.
Because
slasher is kind of where we live.
It is where we live. And we have also touched on possession themes. Like again, Evil Dead. There's a little bit of a possession thing there.
Yeah.
So, but we haven't really gotten to deep dive. So I think this is sort of the like, you know,
sticking our toes
in, testing the water, how strong is the current, you know, that kind of thing.
Getting our handle on
before
what possession is.
we really, really deep dive
into The Exorcist.
And then of course this is our June movie, and
we had to do something.
For Pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one article it was actually like an article, like a thesis about, I don't remember. I don't have it in front of me. I'll put it in our show notes. But one of the things this author was talking about was like specifically the audience reaction to this film and like gay interpretations of this film and like the importance of the spectator in the movie experience. Like there's the text, but there's also the reader, you know, and like what they're bringing to it. And one of the things I didn't, because, you know, a good article, like a good like scientific article or whatever you want to call it, academic article, ends with like further stuff, you know, what we should do next. Like, well, what should we do next? What do we do with this information? You know, and it's sort of saying like,
so what?
Yeah. So what? And one of the things I mentioned was like, you know, but this is a lot of study into like gay male interpretations of this film. And one thing that could be researched further is like how bisexual people react to this film and how queer women react to this film. So I just thought that was interesting when you were like, I think this is more bisexual than gay.
Bicon Jesse Walsh.
Yeah. This is like a I mean, you know me, I always use gay kind of as a a general term.
It's a general
in the same way
term.
I use queer.
Right, yeah.
I don't know that I feel one way or another. I mean, canonically, Jesse is straight.
Yes, canonically, as far as Wes Craven, who wrote this character, wrote him as
Did he write him?
straight.
I thought he didn't write him.
Oh.
It was the other person.
The other person.
He wasn't involved in this
My bad.
one.
Oh, shoot. And I don't know that person's name right now.
That's why it's like so weird and different.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That the idea, the writers and the producers were thinking, of course Jesse's straight.
Yeah, we're just going to put this gay shit in to scare people because straight people will be scared of this gay shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's like as a boogeyman, you know, not as like an actual, like, this is a queer character that we're writing. He's, you know, struggling with his gayness or his bisexuality or whatever.
Yeah, his understanding of his own sexual identity.
Yeah.
Just
no,
in
they're
general.
not doing that. Yeah. No, but
No.
The idea of like how much we as ourselves and our own identities bring into the movies that we watch, you know, which is perhaps why a lot of the movies we watch, we end up having gay interpretations of. I don't know what that's about.
I think that's just a coincidence.
I think we're just right. We're just right. It's not our fault. All these horror movies are so gay.
Yeah, sorry. You know.
But yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
Yes, right. Yeah, it's in the, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
You know.
Bisexuality is in the eye of the beholder.
You want to look for it. You'll find it.
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
Do we want to play archetypes?
Yeah, I just couldn't think of who the fifth person
Oh, right.
was.
So let's talk about it. Who we got? We got Jesse, final boy, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Lisa,
Grady.
Lisa and Grady. So
I feel like
3.
you have to include the gym teacher because he's our first kill.
That's true. He kind of is the horror.
I mean, he is the horror.
That's true. So we really do get to really mess with it.
Yeah.
Like, we have a final boy and a male horror.
Damn.
Which is really interesting.
This movie is so subversive. If only they knew it.
If only they had actually planned for that.
Oh.
And then I saw you wrote on the outline, the parakeets.
I'm obsessed with the parakeet and why is it there? And it's one of our first deaths.
And then who else is in that?
And then there's just like parents.
Kelly.
Oh yeah, her.
Carrie. Sorry, Carrie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, I mean, we could try to
maybe there's just 4. Maybe we just do it with those 4. Because it's so, it felt very clear to me that the gym teacher was the whore who gets punished for his sexual deviancy.
Yes. And possible attraction to children.
Yeah.
And then, Grady's obviously the athlete.
Yeah.
Right? He's
yeah.
often engaging in sports or very tired from what I imagine is from doing sports. I don't know. I don't know.
Whatever athletes do. I don't know. Work out and sleep and be gay.
Yeah.
And then Lisa to me is scholar.
Very scholarly. Yeah. Again, she's the one who goes and does some research.
She's very logical.
Yeah.
She does not let her emotions get the best of her. Mm-mm. Like she keeps such a cool head with Freddy.
She does.
And all
she
the craziness.
even she kisses him. She's not even grossed out and she understands that it's not actually real.
Yeah.
And I will kiss him, and true love's kiss will break this curse.
Insane mind over matter there.
Yeah, right.
Really, Nancy would be so fucking proud.
Truly, yeah. If only Nancy could see it. Yeah.
Well, that is kind of thing, because I'm thinking about the first one. Did we play archetypes for the first one?
We did not.
Okay.
But we literally just did it. We didn't make it a game.
Okay, yeah. Because I'm thinking, because I remember we talked about how Nancy is such a scholar.
Yeah, and
how there isn't really another scholar in that movie.
Yeah.
Did we end up finding one? I don't think we did.
I made the case that Nancy's mom is the scholar.
Oh, yes, you're right. 'Cause she's the one who brings the deep lore.
She's got the lore, and
That's true. That's true. I do like that. But yeah. But Lisa is a scholar in the same way that Nancy is. And she's also a final girl in the same way Nancy is. But she's not a virgin. Nancy gave virgin vibes.
Not Nancy.
Lisa does not.
Yeah.
Jesse does.
Jesse does. So wait, who's left then? What do we have left?
The fool.
We have a fool. Oh, come on.
I know. It's weird not to have a fool. Maybe that's part of where this film went wrong.
Right. Well, and then...
I mean, Grady has certain
Grady's
fool
kind of a fool.
vibes.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of partaking of alcohol. Yeah. There's not a lot of... There's no musician type. There's no... I mean... Yeah, maybe that's it. We just kind of don't have a fool.
I guess maybe that could be Carrie.
Yeah, I guess she's sort of meant to be kind of she's a listening ear, which the fool can be, and she's kind of funny, I guess.
But she's also a super underdeveloped
character. She's nobody. She could have been the fool in Yeah, I think this one only has the 4.
Yeah. But then again, there is like the final boy, the way that final girls often do is like they end up embodying traits of the rest of them.
Because Jesse has some full traits for sure.
He's very foolish.
Yeah. His little dance scene. He's taking substances. You know, he's goofing off in class. Yeah.
Somehow a snake ends up around him.
Yeah.
Especially since like he's the one who is dealing with the Freddy problem.
Yeah.
And it's Lisa who like goes and figures out, okay, so here's what happened a little bit before our time.
Yeah,
there was this thing, and I'm like, shouldn't Jesse be doing that?
Lisa should have been the main character of this movie. Mm-hmm. They fucked up.
We should
accidentally made a very gay movie.
Remake this movie and make it from Lisa's perspective. Yeah. And you know what? But like, let's keep the bisexuality of it. Let's like give her like also a very close girlfriend.
Well, let's develop Carrie.
Yeah, let's develop Carrie.
Yeah. Because I do notice Carrie was like, boy who wants me to get back in the pool and make out with him, go away. I'm talking to my lady friend.
Yeah, right.
So, we can work with this.
But then she was also
into the boys.
Okay, yeah. Like, I think at one point she's like, some guy's got her arm around him.
But don't erase her bisexuality. She can do both.
Yeah. Why not?
Who wouldn't be into Lisa? She's a babe and she's so smart.
Yeah, she's smart. Yeah.
So this has been Deep Thoughts, Shallow Plots?
Yeah. Come back next month. We're doing The Exorcist.
We're doing it.
We're doing a big one. It's been a while since we've done a big classic like this.
Might read the book.
You definitely should read the book, for sure.
Have you read it?
No.
Okay.
But you read books.
You're the book reader.
Well,
read a fucking book.
Well, so this is what I meant by that, is that you read fast.
Yeah.
I do not read fast.
I could read that book. Oh, easily.
You could totally get through that, but I also don't think it's that much.
I don't think so either.
But that movie's quite long. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll watch it. We'll discuss. We'll do some more Hot Possession.
Yeah. Thanks as always to Sound Guy Matt.
Hit us up on Instagram.
And YouTube.
With your thoughts. Like and subscribe.
Are we at Deep Thought Shallow Plots?
Always, everywhere.
Everywhere, all lowercase, one word.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
Yes. And until next time, Daddy can't help you now.